Hello, we're talking about NH10, directed by Navdeep Singh, starring Anushka Sharma. Very tight cast here. I'm just looking at the cast. There's like one, two, three, four, five, five. Um, NH10. I remember hearing about this movie a long back when I was a kid. I didn't watch it because I thought it was a horror movie for some reason. I did watch it recently. I say recently. I think it was close to a year or about a few months ago actually. It was okay. It's a decent movie. Anushka Sharma is definitely the standout in the film, no doubt. She is standing out throughout the film. She is doing an excellent job of playing the protagonist. I think it's a good movie with a strong female protagonist, which is rare in Indian cinema. But I'm not gonna let that score brownie points because it's still a pretty mediocre film in the end. Neil Bhupalam plays her husband, and the whole basis of the story is kind of based on something very stupid. To sum it up, and I'm gonna get into a little bit of spoiler territory, like, they see this woman being abducted, right? And the husband is like, yo, hero, stop doing that to that woman. And then he's like, it's my sister. And it's a pretty fucked up situation, which happens in real life a lot, unfortunately. And, they embarrass him by slapping him in public. And this man, he gets super furious and his insecurity starts coming out, right? He's like, no, how dare he slap me in public? My ego's hurt. Even though his loving wife or fiance, I'm not sure. Basically, they're together, they're a couple. She's very much saying, like, hey, you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to say anything. It's fine. Like, you did something that no one else could. You stepped out to them and you gotta let it go. And this absolute goofball decides to drive to a territory, and he's given a gun because earlier in the movie she gets attacked and he's authorized to carry a gun. So he carries one gun to a place where they're basically killing the sister. It's honor killing. Essentially, it's honor killing. And yeah, they get trapped into this vicious cat and mouse chase where they're like trying to escape. And uh, spoiler alert, he doesn't make it. The fucking rich dumbass who works in corporate for a living doesn't make it out of the village gunda where they like, fucking kill the sister. It's terrible. It's a terrible motivator for the whole movie. Like 80% of the movie doesn't happen. 90% of the movie doesn't happen if he doesn't go through. However, I think it is a very strong movie in terms of what it's trying to tell. It's very prevalent how unsafe women feel throughout the movie, and having a female protagonist is fantastic. I think it's a really good idea. I think Anushka Sharma portrays it perfectly. She's constantly on edge. She's worried. Um, this movie has very, very good ideas of showing how deeply rooted patriarchy is in our society, right? Even towards the end. Now, I don't want to get into too much spoiler territory because I would say like yes, watch this film. If I had to give it a rating, I would still give it like a 3 out of 5. I won't say it quite gets into the good movie territory, unfortunately, because there are some flaws. The movie does feel dragged at some points, and after a while, the ending also does feel a little, it doesn't feel like it was executed very smoothly. But I will say, in terms of messaging, like this is something you would like if I was a English professor, I would show this to my students, right? Because I think one scene which is particularly standing out to me, where I think she's hiding in a washroom or she's just using the washroom, and it's Randi is written on the bathroom stall, and she like gets frustrated and rubs it. And I think this is before even the conflict or everything. I think there's seeds of showing like how misogynistic society in general is towards women. And of course, it gets very on the nose later. It gets very direct later in terms of a very important plot line, which I will not reveal because I think you should watch the movie to understand that. I think it's actually, in terms of Indian cinema, fantastic choice. In terms of, actually, I shouldn't say Indian cinema, in terms of Bollywood, really, really good. Very glad this kind of movie was made. I'm almost certainly positive this kind of movie didn't make a lot of money because Unfortunately, the Indian audience is backward and we don't like supporting good movies. But this movie has my seal of approval. I wish it did a few things better. I think the execution could have been smoother. I think the plot line could have been forwarded in a different way. But I think, given the conditions it starts off with and it goes ahead with, I think it excels in that. I would say 3 is a fair rating from my end. Talking about it, I realize I'm way more appreciative of the movie than I initially thought. But yeah, some of the flaws don't make it beyond what it is. And I think 3 is a fair rating for it. But yeah, definitely watch the movie if you haven't. Anushka Sharma, fantastic actress. Honestly, fantastic actress. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. If you watch the movie, let me know in the comments what you thought. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.